video, we will see how to build a workbench from the scratch. And I'm not an expert in woodworking, but since my existing workbench was running short of space, I thought of building this new one. Let us see the personal protective equipments PPE required before we start any woodworking. For eye protection, a glass, a respirator, a half face respirator would be good. So since it has protection against organic vapors as well as dust, rough gloves. Since we work on wood, there will be sharp edges which may pierce into your skin, so you need good gloves. Now let us see the tools required for building this table. Spirit level. This tool is used to see if the object is perfectly leveled. Tri-square. This tool is used to check if the two wood joints we make at the corners are exactly aligned to 90 degrees. A jigsaw. So in this case I've used a jigsaw for cutting the timbers as well as to split apart the plywood. So if you don't have this tool, you can always go ahead with hacksaw. Clamps. So I've used F clamp as well as G or C clamp for holding two woods when you need to screw down two wood material. So this will be very helpful. Clamp down two wood together. A drill machine. So this is really going to help us in drilling holes on the wood as well as to screw the wood to the sander or sandpaper. So in my case I don't have a orbital sander which is usually used. So I've used an angle grinder with sanding paper to it. So I've used 80, 120 and 220 grit papers for the sanding purpose. Then measuring scale, markers and even measuring tape to protect the wood against water spill and even insects. So it's always good to coat the wood. So I've used lacquer, matte finish lacquer spray. Fasteners is used to join the wood as well as to fix the plywood against the timber. Tie down tool. So this tool helps in holding the wood square frame together so that we can screw down the frame. I went to a nearby timber shop and found Red Saal wood which is used to make this table, and I bought 4 numbers each for the legs as well as to make the frame. Caster wheels. So this can bear up to 100 kg of load and helps your workbench to move around. Let's start building. First we have to make sure all the timber are at equal size. Whatever we buy from the wood shop may not be the same. So we have to cross cut all the timbers in right size. So for that I have used a T345 XT jigsaw blade, so which in my case was longer than the timber's width. So it's always good to choose the blade which is longer than the timber so that we will end up in a good cut. Prefer to work on the floor and make sure the floor is well leveled. Use the spirit level to check if the floor is even. To achieve a straight cut with a jigsaw, use a tri-square or a straight wood as a reference so that the jigsaw will give you a straight cut. Also make sure the wood to be cut and the fixtures are well clamped so that the vibrations created by the jigsaw will not interfere on your straight cut. Also make sure you don't stop the cut in between because this may create a difference on your previous and the next cut. So you may have to spend more time in sanding the gap created between two cuts. I used a tie down tool to join all the four timbers to form a frame, and used a right angle bracket as a temporary fix to create the frame. Later I removed the right angle bracket and used 2-inch screw to create a frame. So for sanding I have used a 120 grit paper. So sanding is always good to provide smoothness to the wood and must before applying sealant to the wood. So in my case I've used a lacquer spray as a sealant, which seals the wood against water spill and even insects. So it's always good to provide 2 to 3 coat of lacquer. Completing my outdoor activity, I took the table indoor and started sanding the workbench top with 220 grit sandpaper. To coat the top of the workbench, I've used a lacquer liquid. So it is good to use a lacquer liquid indoor. So this is how I build the workbench, and if you like to see many such DIY projects, you may subscribe to the channel, and thanks a lot for watching.